Honorable attendees and distinguished guests, please find your seats. The induction ceremony will begin promptly at 11:30. Thank you.
Good morning. It is my great honor and privilege as the NAE Chair to welcome all of you to the 2022 National Academy of Engineering Annual Meeting and the induction of the class of 2021. I am most pleased that we are finally able to have an in-person induction ceremony. I remember my own induction fondly, and I trust that you will find today's ceremony as meaningful as I did. For many of the new members, this is also your first introduction to the Academy. Election to the NAE is a high honor, and I trust that you will take great satisfaction in being so recognized by your peers. I expect that your families also take great pride in this accomplishment. But while the NAE selects its new members based on an exhaustive search and evaluation process, it is much more than just an honorific society. The National Academy of Sciences was established in 1863 by Act of Congress. Its charter directs the Academy to, and I quote, "Whenever called upon by any department or agency of the government to investigate, examine, experiment, and report on any subject of science or art." The National Academy of Engineering was founded in 1964 under that charter. I will let John Anderson describe the operating structure of the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, but I will note that our role as an advisor to the nation on technical matters has been a core responsibility for over 150 years. During this period, the academies have been relied upon to provide independent, objective, and nonpartisan advice with the highest standards of scientific and technical quality and integrity. To do so, the academies call upon the nation's preeminent experts in science, engineering, and medicine. In this process, the often critically needed engineering perspective has been and will continue to be a major demand function for the NAE. I expect that the need for such engineering inputs will increase significantly in the next several years. Now, the past 2 years have been difficult ones as we've learned to deal with the COVID pandemic. Not surprisingly, but not all that well known, is the significant role that engineers and the engineering process played in developing, producing, and distributing the vaccines that have contributed immeasurably to the control of the virus and its impact. While we are learning to live with COVID, we need to recognize that its long-term impact goes well beyond the world of healthcare. COVID has changed society in many ways, from where people choose to live to the nature of work itself. It is my belief that we are just starting to understand the impact that such changes will have on our national infrastructure. Impacts that will need to be addressed by public policies informed by engineers. Add to that public policy the issues surrounding climate change, and it is evident that our nation will need the NAE's advice and counsel in the years to come. The need for such knowledgeable advice becomes evident when one looks at just a small part of the problem, such as the transition from a hydrocarbon-based economy to one based on renewable sources of energy. Providing uninterrupted electric power 24 hours a day, 365 days a year is massively challenging. The difficulties are evident in Europe, where the transition to solar and wind power has been complicated by varying weather conditions, early deactivation of nuclear power sources, and limits on natural gas availability from Russia. The policies behind the transition from hydrocarbon-based energy sources to renewable sources needs to be informed by engineering principles and judgments. As a systems engineer, I am dismayed by the limited perspective that appears to underlie many of these policies. Change in the form of reduced CO2 emissions is typically the desired outcome. But change at what cost? And cost is not restricted to financial measures, but can run the gamut from increased susceptibility to weather events to supply chain constraints for rare earth materials. Only by identifying and addressing the full range of collateral impacts can the full cost and likely timing be understood. The transition of electric power must be engineered to be successful. It must consider the potential for reduced CO2 emissions, the cost and timing of such reductions, and all of the collateral implications. It will also need to consider a full range of alternative mechanisms for producing and distributing electric power, including nuclear technology. I'm pleased to say that your NAE is embarking on the challenge. As but one example, I will note the study initiated and co-organized by the NAE that is examining the potential for commercialization of new and advanced nuclear power technologies. This is a broad-based examination of the problem, examining safety, nuclear waste, and workforce issues, as well as multiple technology options and implementation paths. Although it is but one facet of the challenge to transition away from a hydrocarbon-based electric power grid, it has the potential to materially impact national policy debates on the future direction of electric power generation. I would be remiss if I did not note that this study was enabled by a most generous gift from the NAE member James Struchard. This independent funding greatly aids our ability to independently and flexibly explore multiple alternative paths of development. All too often, studies requested by the federal government come far later in the policy development cycle and can be focused on specific alternatives. We need more contributions to help the Academy provide the engineering leadership and advice that is sorely needed. And we need more members to participate on the related National Research Council committees, boards, and NAE programs. For those of you who have served, I would like to thank you and ask that you continue to do so, perhaps at even greater levels of involvement. For those of you who have not yet done so, I will encourage you to participate. I believe that you will find this form of service to be both intellectually challenging and most satisfying. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce John Anderson, the distinguished president of the NAE, to deliver his message. John?
Thank you, Don, and welcome everyone to the 2022 National Academy of Engineering Annual Meeting and Induction Ceremony. It is refreshing to see so many of you in person. I'd also like to welcome family and friends joining us today. Before we start, I would like to express our sympathy and support for the residents who are in the path of Hurricane Ian, especially in Puerto Rico and in Florida. The storm reminds us that there remain many challenges for engineering to secure the health and safety of our population. We will use our ingenuity to rebuild areas to be more robust, resilient, and to secure the health and safety of our society. This is the moment we've been anticipating, your moment to be formally inducted into the National Academy of Engineering. Inducting 3 classes in one day is a tall order. More than 300 members will be inducted throughout the day, representing 3 classes. It's a first step in moving on from the pandemic, and it's an exciting step. It has been 3 years since we held an induction ceremony in person. I would like to recognize the hard work, patience, and resilience of NAE members, staff, volunteers, and partners. We managed in this time period by working and collaborating electronically, seeing faces through computer monitors. The technologies at our fingertips made our work possible, but it is the people, our current NAE members, who ensured the important work of the NAE continued uninterrupted. NAE is one of the 3 pillars of the National Academies. The National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine serve the nation by providing independent, objective advice to inform policy, sparking progress and innovation to solve complex problems, and confronting challenging issues to benefit societies. The academies encourage education and research, recognize outstanding contributions that benefit society, and increase public understanding of science, engineering, and medicine. Interestingly, the need to cultivate science and advanced technology was amplified in response to the wartime needs of our country. It is against the backdrop of the Civil War that the National Academy of Sciences was first chartered in 1863 by President Lincoln, as Don Winter noted. At its inception, NAS was composed of scientists, engineers, technologists, and medical professionals. In the shadow of World War I in 1916, President Woodrow Wilson approved the formation of the National Research Council to advance science, aid American industries, and promote national security and welfare. Membership was drawn from government, business, various branches of the military, universities, and private research laboratories. As technology advanced, the practices of engineering became more prevalent, and the need for engineering to have an explicit role in advising the nation became more pronounced. In 1964, the NAE was established under the original NAS charter. This was touted as a major landmark in the history of relationships between science and engineering in our country. The 3rd pillar of the academies was formalized in 1970 by the addition of the National Academy of Medicine, originally named the Institute of Medicine. The National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, which we call NASEM, is the trusted voice for evidence-based studies, reports, and discussions that address the science, engineering, technology, medicine, and policy issues of the day. The depth of knowledge and diverse perspectives that you, our members, bring to the table makes reports and studies from the National Academies the gold standard of technical advice. There is unity in our autonomy, and there is autonomy in our unity among the 3 academies. But we all serve one mission: to provide unbiased, evidence-based recommendation in service to our nation. Many of you took part in the Big Picture Expo yesterday and became familiar with NAE programs and the NASEM divisions. It was a great turnout. I thank you for that. I hope you learned how to engage in the work of the academies in ways that are meaningful to you. Service is an important aspect and a responsibility of NAE membership. In 2021, 46% of our members participated in activities of the National Academies generally, and the NAE specifically, by serving on committees, lending their expertise to reports, and by taking an active role in our member elections. Your expertise and participation is needed as we continue to fulfill our mission. So the message here is, your induction into the NAE is like a university graduation. It's commencement. It's the start. It is the beginning of an important service to the nation and to the engineering profession. It is obvious that our climate is changing, and in dramatic ways. We must be responsive to those changes through programs and activities. And we must respond strategically with the urgency required. Accelerating decarbonization of the U.S. energy system is one of the National Academy's most cited reports. Released in 2021, it has been downloaded more than 18,000 times. Its committee members have testified to Congress, and it has influenced policy on addressing climate change. Because of the urgency of this topic, the focus of our Monday sessions is engineers leading the energy transition. We can look forward to insightful talks both about the challenges and the opportunities that await the engineering community. Pictured here are the founding members at the first annual meeting of the NEE, taken in 1965, a year after the NEE was established. 15 of the original 25 members are pictured. 52% are from the business sector industry, 36% are from universities, and 12% were from national laboratories. These men were giants in their field. Among them were James Landis, a power engineer who was in charge of what was at the time the world's largest generating plant, and William Everett, an electrical engineer who pioneered advances in radio engineering and communication. I think I would also like to point out here that not only are they all white males, which is obvious, but they all dress the same. I would like to point out that a hallmark of the NAE is significant representation of members from industry who bring expertise and perspectives about combining scale and cost not found in academia or government. Of the three academies, the NAE is the only one with a significant membership from business. This is what makes NAE unique within the academies. Again, autonomy in our unity. Let's forward to the present. Here are photos of some of the members of the class of 2021. Quite a difference from the composite of individuals from 1964. Our membership representation reflects our values. We aim to increase representation from industry and among women and underrepresented minorities. A more diverse and inclusive academy means that more constructive and creative ideas are brought to bear in our work. We are committed to convening knowledge to provide engineering leadership on issues that countries face as well, the global situation. These issues include clean energy, access to potable water, food security, and protecting health and well-being during times of national crisis, such as pandemics and natural disasters like we just faced. The need for collaboration with members across the world has a new urgency. This year, we increased the number of members from underrepresented countries like Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, and Turkey. Welcome to the 18 international members elected from 14 countries. We look forward to working with you on global issues that impact us all. Today, with 2,300 U.S. members and 300 international members, the NAE embraces another chapter of reaching new frontiers of creativity and innovation to address pressing challenges. NAE elects more than half of our members from the business sector, as I noted. We are the source of expertise from industry. I also want to call your attention to the fact that a significant part of the class is naturalized citizens. Immigration is an obvious asset of the United States. Finally, we have broadened the representation of members with respect to women and individuals from underrepresented groups. In 2021, we revisited our strengths and weaknesses, and with input from members and staff, devised a new strategy to provide insights and leadership with a focus on people, systems, and culture. Our commitment to the nation, our profession, and our members is prioritized in the 4 I's. Identify and inform the frontiers of engineering, theory, practice, and policy. Increase engineering talent through a strong commitment to diversity and inclusion. Instill a culture of ethical and environmental responsibility in engineering. And improve capabilities and competencies for complex systems engineering. In May, the NAE Council approved the strategy's implementation plan that will help maintain our progress in reaching these goals. It is important to point out that the national academies, all three academies, are not part of the government, and this is by design. This ensures that the essential work we do remains objective and credible. One result of our independence is our dependence on philanthropy. About 60% of the NAE's operating budget, the green slice here, derives from the past and current donations by our members, foundations, corporations, and other partners and friends. Your leadership, now more than ever, is critical to the success of efforts to advance NAE to an even higher level. Engineers are at the heart of solving global-scale challenges that affect all people. These challenges create opportunities to learn, improve, and expand the engineering field, provided we are prepared to answer the call. Answer the call. We can, we will, we are engineers. I mean, wow. Who wouldn't want to be an engineer after seeing that, right? I mean, geez. And I'm impressed by your restraint. You know, it's a good dance tune, too, so I thought some of you'd be out there dancing, but thank you for restraining from that. The Campaign for Leadership in a World of Accelerating Change seeks to support effective, action-oriented activities that enable and empower the NAE to be the trusted source of energy advice for creating a healthier, more secure, and more sustainable world. Recently, I saw an engineer wearing a T-shirt with the statement, "I am an engineer. That means I get excited about things other people don't even know about." Keep in mind that the word engineer derives from the Latin word ingenuity, not from engine. It derives from the word ingenuity. And the spirit of ingenuity is at the core of every engineer, a spirit of leadership to create what does not yet exist, as von Karman said. It instills a need to tackle challenges, to find solutions, to create new things. This is what makes our practice and profession unique. I hope this video inspires you as much as it inspires me. I would like to thank all the NAE staff who make our organization work so well. It is a wonderful group of individuals, and they make good things happen. We owe them a lot. And it was a gigantic achievement to put this meeting together after 3 years of not meeting in person. I just commend them, thank them for all they do. Thank the staff. Also, I thank the remarkable officers and counselors who govern the NAE. The council is the governing body, the officers and council who govern the NAE. Recognizing the work of so many reminds me of a quote by Helen Keller, "Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much." I look forward to doing wonderful work with each one of you. Now, the moment you have been waiting for. It's like graduation, right? When you're waiting for your kids to get up there on the stage. Right? Induction of the class of 2021. To lead us, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Al Romig, NAE member and executive officer and a proud member of Section 1 Aerospace. He has also been known as Chief Skunk because of his leading role with Lockheed Martin's advanced development programs at the Skunk Works in California. Al, please introduce the individual members of the class of 2021.
Thank you, John. And still, good morning with 4 minutes to spare. As John said, my name is Al Romig, and I'm the current NAE Executive Officer. I began this role in 2015 after a career in aerospace, and as John said, that culminated at the Lockheed Martin Skunk Works. We are extremely proud of our new members, and we're also proud of our long-serving members. At the back of the induction book, you will find the names of individuals who are celebrating a significant membership anniversary. Allow me to present this list class by class. At the end, I will ask all members celebrating an anniversary that are in the room to stand so that we can properly acknowledge you. If you're at home watching the webinar, you're welcome to stand as well. I'd like to have the audience hold their applause until the members of the classes are all standing, and then we congratulate them all at once. And if you're at home and someone else is in the room with you, they can stand and applaud too. Okay, the following individuals are celebrating a significant membership anniversary. We'll show photos of each one of the classes as they come by. The class of 1971, celebrating 50 years, Robert G. Lowy. The class of 1976, I almost said 1776. Oh. Class of 1976, celebrating 45 years. The class of 1981, celebrating 40 years. The class of 1986, celebrating 35 years. The class of 1991, celebrating 30 years. And the class of 1996, celebrating 25 years. We'd like to thank and congratulate all of our anniversary members for their years of service. Their names are also available in the online directory, and if you congratulate them in person, remember to add +1, because this is from the year 2021. As John and Don both said, this is a really terrific occasion. After almost 3 years of not being together, we are finally in the great auditorium of our nation's capital, and we are in 3 dimensions. Today, we celebrate the marvelous contributions that the engineers in this year's class have made in research, innovation, manufacturing, education, the creation of novel technologies, and in designing solutions for real-world problems. I think you know how competitive this process is, as several of you have already been involved in some form or another. Several years ago, prior to our current positions, both John and I served as chairs of the Committee on Membership. I think 2014 and 2016 were the 2 years that we did. And so from that experience, we know how talented these classes really are. And as executive officer and president, we've had the opportunity to review this year's class again, and you are all as distinguished as ever. John cited our history going back to the National Academy of Sciences in 1863 as an organization that is meant to use the talents of the nation's preeminent scientists, engineers, and physicians. And in light of the global challenges we currently face, from pandemics to energy transitions to climate change, now, More than ever, it is important that the National Academy of Engineering continues to engage in this endeavor. Remember, we're here to serve the nation. It's not an honor society, even though it's an honor to be elected. Now to the induction of our new members, international members. For all of those of you who are joining today, we make great efforts to introduce people properly by pronouncing their names correctly. I will tell you, the work was all done by my assistant, Jatrice Jackson, but between talking with you, listening to voicemails, talking to your assistants or colleagues, consulting Mr. Google, I will try my very best, despite an American accent, to do that. Only one of you almost got introduced by your telephone number. That does not mean that I won't make a mistake, so please extend me a little bit of slack, as this year I am reading over 300 new names. You're the second tranche of 100 that we've done today. First, we will do the new members, and then the new international members. I will read your name and your citation. Your title and affiliation will appear on the screen. If I can now ask John and Don to take your positions and have Carol and Courtney also come up, take your positions, and we'll proceed. One comment that I will make, there were some people because of weather or illness or were last minute people unable to attend. There may be a few people in here that's happened to, and we'll try to be flexible and move past those without too much of a stumble, but there may well be some people missing that we do not know about because of travel or health issues. So we're lining the people up over here. You'll be called up in tranches of about 10 or so at a time. Okay. Russell J. Algor, for application of operations engineering to the design and improve logistics and fulfillment systems for e-commerce. James R. Arnold, for commercial application of processes for gold and silver recovery and implementation of advanced environmental controls. John G. Alnich, for advances in bioprocess engineering, the introduction of new vaccines, and development of microbiome-based products. Santok S. Badisha, for developing materials enabling the broad use of laser printing and the creation of color laser printing. James G. Bellingham, for design, development, and deployment of autonomous underwater vehicles to advance understanding of the ocean and its resources. David Bem, for business leadership and a sustained record of materials discovery to commercialization. Christopher N. Bowman, for development of photopolymerization reactions for adaptable polymer networks and their innovative applications. Julia J. Brown. For contributions to materials and device technologies for phosphorescent light-emitting diode displays and their commercialization. Christopher B. Burke, for leadership in executing complex water resources projects and service to the engineering community. Carlos A. Cabrera. Is that one of the missing ones? Okay. Zoltan is not here as well? Okay. Lily Cheng, for scientific and industrial leadership in user interface design, social computing, and computing education. James E. Colgate, for development of haptic interface technologies, including surface haptics for touchscreens. Lance R. Collins, for contributions to understanding turbulent processes, leadership in engineering, and contributions to the diversity of the profession. Catherine F. Corrigan, for elucidation of injury mechanisms and mitigation and leadership in biomechanical engineering and scientific consulting. Peter J. Delfiette, Jr., for contributions to development and commercialization of low-noise, high-power, ultra-fast semiconductor lasers. Jonathan S. Dordick, for contributions to methods for rapidly screening drug efficacy and toxicity and biocatalytic technologies for improving human health. Francis J. Doyle III, for insights into natural biological control systems and innovative engineering of diabetes control devices. Andreas J. Garcia, for contributions to molecular engineering of biomaterial surfaces and cell adhesion force technology to characterize stem and cancer cells. Gary J. Goldberg, for promoting safety, sustainability, inclusion, value, ethics, and responsibility in the mining industry. Charles N. Haas, for contributions to quantitative microbial risk assessment for drinking water quality and public health. Craig J. Hawker, for contributions to polymer chemistry through synthetic organic chemistry concepts and the advancement of molecular engineering principles. Nick Hazen, for leadership in the commercial development of hydrometallurgical processes for recovering metals from ores. Mary C. Hill, for contributions to development and application of methods for parameter estimation and sensitivity analysis and hydrologic models. Jonathan P. Howe, for contributions to decision-making and control of intelligent autonomous aerospace vehicles. Hao Wang, for contributions to advances in electric machines and power electronics technologies for aerospace electrical systems. Patricia Ann Herter, for leadership in formulation technologies, amorphous dispersions, and continuous processing for hepatitis C and cystic fibrosis treatments. Maria D. Elich, for contributions to electric power system analysis and control. Donald E. Ingber, for interdisciplinary contributions to mechanobiology and microsystems engineering and leadership in biologically inspired engineering. Christopher T. Jones, for leadership of defense logistics, sustainment, training, and system readiness in support of U.S. national security. Terry L. Kelly, for leadership in product development and commercialization by advancing management practices that foster innovation. Thomas F. Kelly, for design and commercialization of the local electrode atom probe to yield 3D atomic scale analysis of materials. Ann S. Karabigian, for research and dissemination of probabilistic seismic hazard methods and mentoring. Witold F. Krajewski, for advances in flood prediction and mitigation. Rajiv Laroya, for contributions to adaptive multi-user orthogonal frequency division multiplexing for cellular voice and data systems. Francis E. Lockwood, for contributions and leadership in the development of sustainable lubricants in automotive and industrial applications. Hani S. Mamahasasini, for contributions to modeling of intelligent transportation networks and to interdisciplinary collaboration in transportation engineering. James O. Malley, for leadership in improving seismic design. Louis A. Martin Vega, for support of engineering and engineering education through industry academic collaboration and opportunities for underrepresented groups. Margaret R. Modernosi, for contributions to power-aware and power-efficient computer architectures and mobile systems. Marcia K. McNutt, for elucidation of lithosphere geomechanics and leadership in earth resources engineering. Pamela A. Melroy, for contributions to human spaceflight, space access, space situation awareness, and military aeronautics system. Now the Deputy Administrator at NASA. Danielle W. Murfeld, for leadership and development of products for large wind turbines and solar voltaic systems. Julio A. Navarro, for development and implementation of phased array sensors and communication systems for aerospace applications. Oye Kunle Olukotun, for contributions to on-chip multiprocessor architectures and advancement to commercial realization. Marie Ostendorf, for contributions to statistical and prosodic models for speech and natural language processing and for advances in conversational dialogue systems. Zhongxi Pang, for the development of methods to advance the theory and applications of optimization and operations research. Glaucio H. Polino, for contributions to topology optimization and its applications to medicine and engineering. David J. Perot, for contributions to power electronics technology and design techniques for very high frequency energy conversion. Mark T. Peters, for leadership and contributions in advancing U.S. nuclear energy capabilities and infrastructure. Joseph B. Powell, for contributions to process developments in energy, chemicals, and biofuels technologies. Laura J. Pyrak Nolte, for advances in understanding of the processes that link the mechanical, hydraulic, and seismic properties in discontinuities. Theodore S. Rappaport, for contributions to the characterization of radio frequency propagation in millimeter wave bands for cellular communication networks. Peter B. Romer, for contributions to performance improvement and widespread availability of MRI technology. Krishun K. Subnani, for contributions to software-defined routing and networks. Kumal Sarabandi, for contributions to the science and technology of radar remote sensing. Mark P. Sarkeesian, for innovation in efficient and aesthetic design of tall buildings and structures. Rachel A. Siegelman, for contributions to semiconductor block polymers, polymeric ionic liquids, and hybrid thermoelectric materials. Winston O. Sobiejo, for contributions to understanding dynamic behavior of materials and for leadership in STEM outreach in Africa. S. V. Srinivasan, for research, innovation, and entrepreneurship in the industrial deployment of nano-imprint lithography equipment. Kathleen J. Stebby, for contributions to understanding of non-equilibrium processes at soft matter interfaces and their impact on new technologies. Yu Chung Tai, for contributions to micro-electromechanical system technologies and parylene-based biomedical microdevices. Juming Tang, for invention and commercialization of electromagnetic spectrum wave-based food processes. Jefferson W. Tester, for leadership in development of novel renewable energy systems. Michael M. Thackeray, for invention of cathode materials that dominate in lithium-ion batteries for electrical vehicles and grid storage. Arthur J. Tipton, for the development and commercialization of drug delivery systems, business leadership, and fostering STEM education of disadvantaged students. Nikhil C. Trivedi, for development of minerals processing technologies and mineral products for the paper, polymer, and building industries. I think Vicky not here. Yuri Vlasov, for contributions to development and commercialization of silicon photonics for optical data communications. Cindy L. Wallace-Lage, for applying innovative technology to complex, large-scale water infrastructure systems. Chris J. Wernicke, for innovations in the design, engineering, and operation of ships and offshore structures. Donald R. Wilton, for contributions to computational electromagnetics of highly complex structures. Morthy V. Yala, for contributions to digital protection and control devices for the grid. Jackie Y. Ying, for contributions at the interface of nanostructured materials, nanomedicine, and diagnostic devices to improve human health. Matthew J. Zaluzik, for innovation of lightweight materials and manufacturing technologies to improve automotive fuel economy and safety and reduce the carbon footprint. Okay, now, if we could have Jim Tien, our International Secretary, come to the stage, and Carol will return to her seat once we finish here, and we will induct the class of 2021 international members. Paula M. Alves, for leadership in biomanufacturing, advanced biotherapeutics, and bridging the gap between academia and industry. Giuseppe Bellucci, for development and commercialization of environmentally beneficial chemical processes. Missing. Sebastian Sierra, for application of optimization tools to advance integer programming and financial engineering. Peter Fratzel, for studies of structure and physical properties of biological materials and their application in material science and medicine. Elizabeth L. Guazelli, for experiments in theory that enhance understanding of dispersed particulate systems. Jace Tharaj B. Joshi, for contributions in rational design of multi-phase chemical process equipment and leadership in shaping the Indian chemical industry. See, I think we're missing Khalid. Barbara, you're not okay. Sorry. Barbara Sherwood Lawler, for contributions to understanding of the evolution of Earth's groundwater and atmosphere. Pierre M. Souquet, for contributions to the mechanics of nonlinear behavior of heterogeneous viscoplastic solids. Zhaozin Zhao, for contributions to the development and implementation of power systems technology in China. Sir James R. McDonald, for contributions to engineering leadership and interdisciplinary education, expert power systems, and low carbon technologies and renewable energy. Okay, let's all congratulate the NAE class of 2021. Okay, one touch of final instructions. I would like the class of 2021 to be allowed to leave first, and perhaps outside, but more likely because of the weather in the East Court, we'll be taking a class photo. So individuals that are in this class of 2021, and Sir Jim, please join them, and also any of the anniversary celebrants that are on site should all rendezvous, leave first, and get ready to have a group photo taken. There were a couple that I screwed up, but close enough. And it's if they don't come down for it, if I can't see them well enough to identify with someone's.
Do a photo because you got the wrong certificate.